Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote.
It's Friday, October 27th, 2023, the Friday before Halloween, and welcome to episode 76 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler, and as is my tradition, we began with a little bit of the famous 1939 War of the Worlds broadcast. If you've never listened to it, find it on YouTube. In this edition of the Postcast, Planning, Building, and Transportation has a new director. AUSD provides an update on the new Alameda High School Swim Center, and they invite you to participate in various roundtables as well as a forum on construction at Wood Middle. There's a new podcast in town. You should give it a listen. Make your plans to dispose of hazardous household waste. Steve Gorman finds out that seltzer is nothing new in Alameda, and spooky season is in full swing. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story, Alan Tighe has been selected as the permanent director of the Planning, Building, and Transportation Department. Tighe has previously worked for the City of Alameda in a variety of roles, including Deputy Director, City Planner, and Planning Services Manager. Mr. Tighe most recently served as acting PBT Director and will step into the role permanently beginning on November 6th, replacing outgoing Director Andrew Thomas, who is retiring after a lengthy career with the city. Mr. Tighe becomes the first Asian American to hold the position of PBT Director for Alameda. More details at alamedapost.com/news. On Wednesday, representatives of the Alameda Unified School District and the city met to provide an update on the progress of the replacement of the Emma Hood Swim Center, the facility shared by AUSD and Alameda. Currently, the existing facility is not code compliant, has multiple maintenance issues. The funding for the new facility is shared by both the city and the school district. The new facility will include 2 pools, both 25 yards in length. The main pool will be 12.5 feet deep with 12 swimming lanes. A 4-lane practice pool with a depth of 4.5 feet will meet the requirements of the Americans with Disabilities Act and also host various recreational aquatics programs. A new tennis court will be constructed as one of the existing courts in the Oak Street facility will be demolished to accommodate the larger pool. In the end, the number of tennis courts will remain the same. During the public comment period, a local tennis coach noted that while swim coaches had been consulted, tennis coaches had not, and he suggested that construction would be a good time for the addition of a water station and electrical connections as well as improved lighting. An architect from Carducci Associates called the comments helpful and indicated they would help inform the design update. Updated drawings expected by January. The new facility is expected to open in spring of 2025. For details, including a diagram of the new layout, see Karen Jensen's article at alamedapost.com/news. AUSD is also reaching out to the public to extend an invitation to join one of their many roundtables that focus on communities that may have been underserved, with the goal of providing support to students, staff, and families. You'll find roundtables addressing the needs of multiple communities, including Black and multi-ethnic, Latino, Asian Pacific Islander, Jewish, Muslim, LGBTQ, and special education. On November 2nd, AUSD will update the community on the Wood Middle School construction projects and potential changes to the athletic field configuration. It will be a hybrid meeting either at the school or online. The initial study is expected to be published in early November, dealing with environmental review, traffic, and cultural resources. For further details, including links to the online portion of the hybrid meeting, as well as full descriptions of the missions of the various roundtables, see alamedapost.com/features. From high school to middle school, now to elementary school. You may remember that last year, Ms. Ryan Brazil's 4th grade class at Love Elementary published a book, The Anti-Bias ABCs. This year, Ms. Brazil's class has taken on a different kind of media, podcasting. Thanks to a generous grant from the Alameda Education Foundation, Ms. Brazil's class was able to put together a multiple microphone setup and start sharing their thoughts with the world. The podcast is entitled Little Minds, Big Talks, and they've already published 3 episodes. They're tackling some big topics, starting with neurodiversity. Each episode ranges from 5 to 8 minutes and has a goal of enabling the empowerment of young voices and fostering a more informed and empathetic generation. Had the opportunity to lend a small hand to Ms. Brazil as the podcast was getting underway. It's a joy to see children using modern tools for such a great purpose. Again, the show, Little Minds, Big Talks, available wherever you get your podcasts. For a look behind the scenes, check out alamedapost.com/features. Over time, we all tend to accumulate a bunch of stuff we have no idea how to get rid of. Expired medication, cleaning supplies, old electronics. If you've been wondering what to do with your troublesome waste, help is around the corner. On Sunday, November 12th, Alameda County Household Hazardous Waste, along with the city and StopWaste.org, are holding a free hazardous and e-waste drop-off event. Accepted items: pest and garden products, batteries, light bulbs, paint, paint-related products, electronics, propane tanks, old medications, oil and auto fluids, cleaners, fire extinguishers, and sharps containers. You need to go online to make an appointment. After that, simply drive up and drop off. For details, including that sign-up link, see alamedapost.com/news. Wanted to take a moment to say congratulations to a few of our local restaurateurs. Far too often when the San Francisco news outlets make a Best of the Bay proclamation, they tend to forget that Alameda exists. Well, when the San Francisco Chronicle published their recent list of the best hot dogs, they remembered the island, singling out 2 Park Street institutions, Scolari's and the Pampered Pup. Congratulations to both of them. The Chronicle also noted Lockford Sausage's monthly offerings at the Alameda Point Antiques Fair. The 43rd Annual Alameda Holiday Boutique is almost here. Make plans for Saturday and Sunday, November 4th and 5th. This marks the 3rd year that the benefit for Alameda Recreation and Parks Leisure Club will be run by Rob Schmidt. But as C.J. Hirschfeld points out in her profile of the boutique, this will be Rob's last year, and the boutique is in need of new leadership. The boutique is an all-volunteer affair, and a few years back, Rob took over when the previous coordinator moved on. Now Rob is looking for someone else to take the reins. According to Rob, the time commitment, a couple hours a week starting in June, then obviously it accelerates the week of the event with 3 full days for the event itself. If you or someone you know might be interested in helping keep this long-standing Alameda tradition alive, check out the details at CJ's article at alamedapost.com/features. These days, seltzer is everywhere. Polar, LaCroix, you name it, non-alcoholic sparkling water, a $32 billion market, but as our own Steve Gorman found out, it's really nothing new. In his latest installation of today's Alameda Treasure, he stops by 1425 Peru Street, where the owners unearthed some interesting-looking stoneware jugs. Turns out they made the trip from Germany, specifically Niederselters, Germany, the town from which the beverage takes its name. Steve provides a history of the beverage and an introduction to the Thompson family's 100-plus year history at 1425 Peru. Look for today's Alameda Treasure at alamedapost.com/history. Speaking of history, your last chance to catch Part 2 of Alameda Point, the former Naval Air Station, is this Sunday the 29th. Join Dennis Evanosky and Adam Gillett as we explore the history of the area around the USS Hornet. Details at alamedapost.com/tours. While you're there, check out the preview of our final walking history tour of the year, Park Avenue and environs. Dennis has been doing his part for spooky season. Part 2 of his ghost story, The Trunk in the Attic, is available to read at alamedapost.com/features. The conclusion will be released on Halloween Day. If you're listening to this on Friday the 27th, make plans to head to Franklin Park between 2 and 5 for the 23rd annual free pumpkin giveaway from the Alameda Firefighters Association. Everyone 12 and under gets to pick a pumpkin to take home. The child must have a guardian present, and the event is limited to Alameda residents. Be on the lookout for the latest Halloween report from our roving canine reporter Moof, with a little help from his human companion Jeff Canberra as they share some of the best decorations the island has to offer. Find that story Friday afternoon at alamedapost.com/features. Many more events at alamedapost.com/events. The annual Teen Haunted House comes to South Shore Center Friday through Sunday. Saturday brings Trunk or Treat to the USS Hornet and Trick or Treat on Webster Street. Sunday, the annual Pumpkin Patch Pool Party returns to Encinal Swim Center. If you're looking for something different, Central Baptist Church is offering a Halloween detour on Monday with food and games. Miss Bennett, Christmas at Pemberley continues at Altarena Playhouse. Catch Gene Kane's review at alamedapost.com/features. Again, more events at alamedapost.com/events. Thank you for supporting local news for Alameda. Join us as a member, alamedapost.com/memberships. Remember, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, as well as our own subreddit. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple News. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or just tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 77 of the Alameda Postcast. And as is customary, since we began with War of the Worlds, it is only fitting that we let the maestro himself have the final word. Mr. Wells, take it away.
So goodbye, everybody, and remember, please, for the next day or so, the terrible lesson you learned tonight. That grinning, glowing, globular invader of your living room is an inhabitant of the pumpkin patch, and if your doorbell rings and nobody's there, that was no Martian, it's Halloween.